is Eric from Testament.
This is Mark.
This is Logan Mader.
Mark Janssen.
Phil Bozeman.
Ben Wyman.
Janice Molotov.
Ben Dewars. Nick Nocturnal.
David Olson.
Sobre la dosis.
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 Jonathan Montenegro.
Jonathan Montenegro.
Jonathan Montenegro.
Jonathan Montenegro.
With Jonathan Montenegro. Let's go!
Better be listening, because I know where you live.
Yo, what's up, Jonathan? It's Art, drummer from Lamb of God, and you have some really, really awesome questions. Some questions that I've actually never answered before. It's mildly alike. I just did an interview with Modern Drummer, kind of asking me some of these things, but great questions, man. I appreciate you asking me these and kind of like really putting your thought into it. So, first of all, nice to meet you. I'm kind of kicking it right now in Richmond in my house, so I wanted to get around to this. But yeah, so I was part of marching band in high school, and yes, indeed, that was a huge influence for me when I decided to kind of pursue a career, because once I joined the high school band, I was a sophomore going into my junior year, and was probably messing with the wrong group, and my band director kind of pulled me out and saw something in me. I was interested in drums at the time since I was a kid, but I never really had a drum kit. So he kind of picked me out and said that it would probably be in my best interest to check out the drum line, because I was always tapping and shit in his class and just fucking around all the time. It was really hilarious, but at the time I wasn't doing good at school. I wasn't really paying attention, trying to run with the wrong guys, wrong crowd, and he pretty much saved my career, that is now my life, and changed my entire path of my life. So it's kind of interesting that you asked this, and it's so important to me because I was going into band camp. I saw the drum line. I was like, holy shit, I have to do this. I was already interested in drums, but I never really felt that I was like going to pursue this as a career. So what I learned in band was the camaraderie, discipline, didn't read music, still didn't know how to read music. I still don't know how to read music, fun fact. So that was a big part, and it changed my entire perspective on like unity and like, hanging out with people and like having a passion for one thing, and that was music. And in that band I met a trumpet player, and he ended up being one of my first guitar players in my first band, so that was cool. And literally, man, as soon as I heard the sound of drums in that at that level, I was already hooked on wanting to do this for the rest of my life, and that is a true statement. And I just never looked back the entire time. And that developed from obviously playing marching band and learning cadences with the drum line and things like that. That developed a lot to the kit, because I think I always had fast hands, and my feet and leg movements kind of came way later in playing covers and doing all that shit and starting a band. You know what I'm saying? That's what happens. And a lot of it developed in the backyards of the San Gabriel Valley in East LA, where I grew up. So that's where I learned everything, was just kind of playing backyard shows and jamming with the band, right? They were all great memories. Like, I won't forget them, and they kind of live with me today more than anything. So that answers your first question. That was a great question, man. And characteristics about being classified as an extraordinary drummer. This is something that I'm actually touching on a lot this year, going into next year. You could be a phenomenal drummer, an amazing drummer, skills, hands, faster than shit, blast beats, this, that, whatever, you name it. But if you're a phenomenal drummer, you have to have something else that goes hand in hand, and that is yourself and your relationships and the person that you become, and the person that you are with your bandmates and your friends, and that example that you need to be cool to be around. And that's cool. By cool, I'm meaning like you need to be a good dude and make good decisions and continue to be a positive outlook for your fans, your friends, your family, and more importantly, your own band members. So I think it's more important to be a good person with those skills of the drums. They go hand in hand, more so being a good dude. And that's a big part of my success, and having that extraordinary factor. And to get to that level, it is most definitely obviously practice what you preach, which is what I'm doing. And that is a big deal. It's a huge deal because you cannot go any further or even continue to have a long career without any of those characteristics. You know what I mean? So great question, bro. Thank you for that one. Top 3 best drummers. It's a tough one. One of my, honestly, I always have to say my first inspiration, just got finished actually watching a video at Woodstock, Santana. He's not a drummer. However, to me, the entire entity of Santana and his music is very percussion backed. You know what I mean? It's very percussion. So as a kid, that's what I first listened to. It's what I first saw. It's what I first was around my entire childhood. So that's what got me into drums. So I stuck with that. So Santana, I have to classify him as one of my favorite drummers. Weird, but it's the truth. After that, I would have to say most definitely Mike Portnoy. A huge part of my career. Good friend now, thank God, and influenced me to really think outside the box and get creative and have that Portnoy factor in my playing. And I'm sure if you are a drummer, you can hear that in my playing. And then my third, that's really hard, man. Top 3 is hard, but I will probably have to say David Garibaldi, the drummer from Tower of Power. I'm a very funky dude. Notice how not all these guys are metal or metal at all, but those are the guys that influenced me early. To give you some bonus 4s and 5s, Dave Lombardo and Chris Adler, and a bonus 6, Joey Jordison. I hope this answered your questions very well. It's very nice to meet you through here. Respect and love. Hopefully we see you at a show sometime.